Hey, Assalamualaikum. Let's understand about the Nikocado avocado. So, how Nikocado reduce the fat. So that is, we will understand about that things. Basically, after the 7 month, he uploaded a new video with very reduced fat, which that is more than 200 pounds reduced the weight with a very thin and basically smart person. So that is how it is possible. Basically, the duration of the fat loss plan was 2 years, but he uploaded the video again after 7 months because he had corrupted the file, so that is why he could not upload it the video. So that is the major problem, which that is basically, and in this way basically concerned with mind and remember that things, basically the 2 years required to change their whole body. So how it is possible, let's understand about that, because it is the biological channel. This is the I am Umar Farooq Biology. So in this way, that basically it is a biological channel. So we will understand with the concept how it can be possible to reduce the fat. So I have a lot of video about that, so you can watch that basically. So in this way, the basically whenever he eat the noodles, basically the rich amount of the carbohydrate and too much carbohydrate rather than the protein, and on the other hand the fat, but too much carbohydrate, basically noodle contain a hidden sugar whenever you will intake. So in this way it will convert into the simple sugar. So remember, the simple sugar, basically the noodle will spike the insulin. When noodles spike the insulin, and in this way the insulin level will be rise. The insulin level when rise, it means the extra glucose basically drain into the adipose tissue, will become a adipose tissue grow. But the insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes can be possible more and more chances to cause the type 2 diabetes and the insulin resistance. Basically insulin resistance already he had, but the basically the diabetes completely will not work. Why? Because the insulin work for the adipose tissue more to deposit the glucose in the form of fat. So that is known as the lipogenesis. The lipo mean the lipid, the genesis mean the formation. So the lipogenesis will occur. That lipogenesis will increase again and again whenever he eat. So in this way, basically whenever he ate, so in this way basically increase the fat rather than the muscle growth or the decrease. So in this way, whenever he eat the noodle, so it will spike the insulin, and insulin will buffer the growth hormone. So in this way, the growth hormone will not possible. That is called the low degree inflammation progress, and in this way eat more, so the insulin spike. Insulin character is that the insulin deposit the glucose into the adipose tissue. When the insulin deposits the glucose in the adipose tissue, due to the insulin spike and insulin work more with the fat cell to open the glucose channel, and in this way the glucose will enter into the adipose tissue, the adipocyte. It will become a lipid formation, it will become a triglyceride store. But this triglyceride will not affect to the if the too much long duration. So that is why, but their age is less as compared to the older person, cause many heart disease, etc. But genetics also work. So in this way, the peripheral fat is not any problem, while the visceral fat is the problem. But he has more peripheral fat, so not visceral fat. So that is why it can be possible. Thing is that the cardiovascular disease prevention, but on the other hand the age factor also, and the duration of the fat gaining process was very less, like the 5 year or 6 year. So that will not effective too much, but the long duration, the long years, too much years, for example the 15 years or 16 year can be effective to cause many disease like the insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes mellitus. But anyhow, his plan was before the 2 years. So in this way, basically his plan was previously, but the video he was not uploading in 7 months. So before the 7 month he uploaded, and again he uploaded no. So what is the meaning of that? Basically the insulin resistance can be possible, but the insulin will move toward the adipose tissue to store that glucose whenever he will eat the noodles. So the noodle spike the insulin will lead to increase the glucose deposition in the adipose tissue. While this is the problem, so in this way the gain of the fat, so that is the main thing. And in this way the insulin spike will buffer the growth hormone. So the growth hormone is special character to buffer the adipose tissue and basically trigger the lipolysis. Lipo mean the fat, lysis mean the breakdown. And in this way the growth hormone will not spike if, so in this way the fat burning process will not work. So the insulin buffering mechanism required, if the insulin will buffer, so the growth hormone will spike. But that time the insulin was not buffering while the growth hormone buffering. So the growth hormone will buffer, so the insulin basically spike, and in this way again and again eating of the noodle will lead to cause problem. And in this way basically whenever he ate the noodle, so in this way spike the insulin will deposit the glucose into the adipose tissue to become a fat, more gain of the fat. In this way the basically is the growth hormone not spike too much, and that is why the insulin trigger. So insulin can trigger due to the glucose, the noodles and the soda water, a lot more sugary materials which that trigger the insulin, and insulin will spike, will buffer the growth hormone. Basically the growth hormone and insulin is same, but the difference is a lot more. Like the growth hormone important for the lipolysis, the breakdown of the fat, while the insulin will not work for the breakdown of the fat. But insulin deposit everything like amino acid, protein and the fat, glucose. But on the other hand, it will deposit the fat formation, it will deposit the glucose into the fat cell, and that fat cell will progress because the spillover and the glycogen formation will not occur due to the lack of exercise. So the exercise required for the glycogen formation and muscle growth, but he is not exercising, even eating the bad food like the noodles, etc. So in this way, basically whenever he quit that all these things, so insulin start to buffering. When insulin start to buffering, so the growth hormone will spike. The growth hormone when spikes, so the growth hormone increase the bone density, increase the collagen formation, change the shape of the skin, the texture of the skin, because the growth hormone increase the growth factor like the epidermal growth factor and the endothelial growth factor, hair growth, as the loss of the fat. So the loss of the fat is very important. On the other hand, important thing you should need to understand, he had obviously fasting. So he had obviously fasted, so that fasting which that buffer the insulin while spike the growth hormone. And same mechanism due to the ketogenic diet also spike the growth hormone, and well sleep, even the exercise, which that all factor increase the growth hormone will lead to lipolysis. But depend on the metabolism. May he has metabolism more as compared to the other person, but 2 years is very enough to reduce the fat. Even some people reduce the fat in 7 months also. But he has a lot of fat, so he had a lot of fat, and in this way it required obviously 2 years. So that is why he dropped too much fat, so he looked like a younger as compared to previous videos. So that is the thing. I hope it makes sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. For this time, bye. Allah Hafiz.